Thank you, Charlie. And actually, I was surprised that Charlie didn't ask me to talk to the kids because I was a pretty good ball hoop player. Anyway, no, guys, let's just show a little bit more of that video before we bring out Phil. Jamaica Pond was the scene. Phil Terenzi, Sergeant Phil Terenzi, tonight's guest. There's Phil right there. And out and about Jamaica Pond training a couple months ago for rescues in the event if somebody falls through the ice. They had the Rescue Alive sled, which we're going to talk about. But tonight's guest, there he is, not afraid to get down and dirty. Sergeant Phil Terenzi showing these guys how to take care of business. And let me just show you real quick some video coming up, what they prepare for. And again, it's in the event that somebody makes a mistake, walks out on the ice, which they shouldn't, like this poor fella here, whose identity will remain anonymous. But all right, let's bring out Phil.
He's a real dummy, that guy.
Yeah, that guy's a real dummy.
One of our training mannequins.
Buddy, always a pleasure.
Hey, always a pleasure. Everybody's Irish on St. Patrick's Day, isn't
Phil
it?
Terenzi in the house, everybody. Top of the evening to you. Happy St. Patrick's Day, of course.
Right back at you.
Pretty interesting stuff taking place in Jamaica Pond a couple months ago.
It was interesting stuff. We like to make sure that we do all our rescues as training missions.
Yeah.
We hate to do something for real because then we know someone's really in trouble if they're walking on the ice and they fall through, which they shouldn't be on the ice at all.
We're going to get into that in a second. But winter season, safe to say, it's
just about over.
It's just about over.
There's still a little bit of ice around. That's real thin stuff,
Yeah.
so you don't want to make sure you want it right now because it's just very unstable.
But in terms of safety on the ice, how was this past winter? Did you make any rescues? Were people safe? Did people, hopefully stay out of dangerous situations? How was this past winter?
Yeah, our unit didn't get any calls at all for people on ice this year, which was a good year. Usually during school vacation week's a big time that we get calls for people being out on the ice, and we have to get out there and make sure we shoo them off before they fall through.
Well, you know what I like? The day that we shot the video of you guys doing your training, of course, I went into media relations that day, and we're getting all sorts of calls. Is somebody drowning on the ice? I see the police and the truck there. And as you said, thankfully, no, it was a training mission.
Yep.
How important? Obviously, I would imagine it is important to stay sharp, but how important is it to have days like that day in terms of training for you guys?
We do have to train. There's a lot of things that go on in the water, on the ice, and if we're not prepared to respond to them, then our guys can be victims as well. So it's important to train as frequently as possible.
You say no rescues this year per se. Is it people smarter? Do people know enough? Because I'm thinking when I grew up, we used to skate on Lars Anderson. But I think it was probably about 4 feet deep. So even if you fell through, nothing was going to happen. But I don't see. It seems like I don't see as many people on the ice. It seems like
I think we're getting the
like
word out. I think the word's getting out that it's not really safe to be out there on the ice. You really don't know if it's solid all the way through.
Yeah.
If it could be some light patches. It could be a hole in the ice that you didn't know about, and it froze over very lightly overnight. So I think the word is getting out that really let's not go out on the ice.
Yeah.
Let's try and stay off it.
Problem areas, if there are some.
Problem areas, Jamaica Pond is usually an area, yeah. If you go out there, you can see the ice is formed out there.
Right.
A little further out, you can see there's open water, so it's not frozen all the way through.
Right.
Over in Dorchester Bay by Plaisted Road, there's always a favorite spot for kids because they can walk right down onto the beach area, and if it's frozen over, so it gets really cold and that starts to freeze over, it looks very inviting, and kids will go out there. But the problem with that is that that's ocean water. It's salt water. It doesn't freeze as solid as clear ice.
Right.
And it also is affected by tidal flow. So water's going in, it's pushing the ice up, and then it goes out, and there's nothing there supporting it.
So a lot of stuff going on with
there's a lot there that's very
So
dangerous.
anybody jumping on the ice over there, pay attention and
don't go out there. Don't go on the ice.
Well, before we get any further, I mean, something they say about, I'll ask you the question, is there such a thing as safe ice? And your response would be what?
Well, the only ice that is safe is the one that goes into my Pepsi at lunchtime.
Yes. Do we have a laugh track in the... Thank you. Thanks, Dave. I saw that. But I love that line, in fact.
It is, and that is the only safe ice. You can't tell if ice is safe or not. And I'm glad the season's over. We're moving on to the boating season now, and everyone's getting ready to put their boats in the water, and we'll deal with all that issue.
Before we get to boats, though, and Charlotte, if you can show some of the video, I want to ask you, I asked you earlier, but today as opposed to 10 years ago, let's say, are you guys better when it comes to saving people?
Absolutely, without a doubt. Technology's gotten better, equipment's gotten better, even the suits that we wear have gotten a lot better.
Which we can take a look at the screen too. You got the orange suit going on.
The suits that they're wearing now are Mustang Ice Rescue survival suits. They're able to get into the water and And before we had the ice rescue sled, we used to have.
That's the thing I want to ask you about, because we're talking, and I remember, I thought anyway, I think you confirmed it, like the ice rescue alive, what's it called?
Yeah, it's called a rescue alive sled.
Rescue alive sled, and just keep it up if you could. It's just, it's a thing you're standing on right there.
It's very versatile. It spreads your weight out over a larger area as opposed to over your 2 feet. So it spreads the area out over a 3 foot by 6 foot area.
Okay.
So your weight spread out quite a bit. If you happen to fall through the ice with that, you know the ice is going to be unsafe because somebody is falling through the ice.
Here's somebody, one of the guys,
you start to push out
springing into action.
If they would happen to fall through that ice at that point, those pontoons would create flotation, and they can actually jump up on the side of those and move their way through any open water.
Pontoons in the left and the right.
Left and the right.
Now, how old is that?
That's only
invention, if you will, with it.
Well, that's about 6 years old.
Okay.
We got it about 6 or 7 years ago.
Yep.
It's lasted all these years through all the trainings. We haven't actually. We only had almost one rescue we did with
our
that.
man Stevie Merrick rescuing the.
And yeah, and it's just a handy piece of equipment that gets you out there fast. It's easy deployable.
Yeah.
It gets you out there. It's good for a lot of things, and you can get somebody out there without having to go in the water like we used to have to do.
What did you just the one that you have, or is it something?
We just have one.
Okay.
Yes.
And anytime, obviously, there's a situation like there was, at least the training session, you guys, boom, are out there, and the rescue alive sled is.
You have to know what you're doing in order to do it right and do it safely, and be able to not only bring the victim back, but bring ourselves back.
Yeah, and I noticed too, it's funny stuff like, as I was watching you guys train, talking to. I think someone's saying, make sure you talk to the victim, like, Boston Police, we're on the way. Boston Police, hold on.
And basically what we're trying to do there is trying to keep the person conscious and alert and responding to us and checking their status of hypothermia, because you don't have much time when you fall through the water. Even now, and the water's only about 40 degrees this time of year.
Okay.
So it's cold water, and hypothermia sets in real fast because water just takes that heat away from your body really quickly, and it'll set in stages. We could actually determine what stage of hypothermia they're in and whether they're not going to be able to help us. If they're going to be able to help us get them out. Some people.
So what do you just say? They're not responding when you're saying, okay.
Right, exactly. So we're talking to them. We're trying to see what they're doing. We're trying to give them encouragement to hold on to that ice shelf or stay calm and seeing if they're able to respond to us. Some people would be able to respond and be able to help us as soon as we get out there, and other people just give you that blank stare. You know that you're getting ready to lose them.
Oh my God, please. Pull me out. Thank God you're here.
Because the limbs are going to be the first things to go. They're not going to be able to reach out and help you. You're going to be talking to them. You're going to try and see what their capabilities are, and you have to move really quick, and that tool really allows that to happen.
The hypothermia thing kicks in pretty quick.
Really quickly. In ice water, you're talking, maybe 15 minutes.
Okay.
They don't have much time.
So in the case of that dummy, if you will, 15 minutes he has, and even in that situation where even if you're kind of above the ice, are you still looking at hypothermia kicking in?
Exactly, because you're going to lose your most heat. Don't you remember your mom telling you to put your hat on?
Yes,
right through your head. It's one of the.
That's why I'm losing all my hair, because I wear hats all the time. That's what people tell me. You probably didn't wear hats, but that's another story.
No, my mom used to tell me to wear a hat all the time. She still tells me to wear a hat.
But wait, okay, so where?
Yeah. So through the head, you lose a lot of heat. Your armpits, you lose a lot of heat, and down lower through the groin area, you lose a lot of heat. So what areas are in the water and what areas are exposed? Your head right there, and your arms, your mass. So you're losing a lot of heat. The water's just taking that heat away from your body. So it's real quick, 15, 30 minutes tops.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So if the water doesn't get you, the hypothermia
is. And that's not if you didn't swallow any water when you went in. And then you have some laryngeal spasms going on.
Yeah.
And that's not good.
That could be a good thing.
Doesn't even sound good, does it?
Laryngeal, I'm going to have to look that up.
Yeah.